Hey, fight family and boxing fans across the world. Welcome to the unstoppable rise of one of Mexico's most electrifying fighters. From the streets of Tijuana to the grandest stages of boxing, Jaime Munguía has proven time and time again that he's here to dominate. With explosive power, relentless combination, and a warrior's heart, Munguía has battled legends and silenced doubters. But controversy now surrounds his latest fight. Did Munguía truly fight fair, or is his legacy in jeopardy? Get ready as we dive deep into his journey, his triumphs, his challenges, and his fight to clear his name. This is Jaime Munguía, Mexican pride, boxing phenom, and the fighter you can't ignore. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. Recently, Jaime Munguía tested positive for exogenous testosterone metabolites after his May 4, 2025 victory over Bruno Suarez. Munguía has denied knowing using banned substances and is waiting results from his B sample, which could determine whether his win is overturned. Jaime Munguía has been one of the most exciting fighters in boxing, with 47 professional fights, 45 wins, and 35 knockouts to his name. His fights in the super middleweight division, standing 6 feet tall with a 72-inch reach. Recently, Munguía won a May 2025 fight against Bruno Suarez, but he had a tough loss to Saul Canelo Álvarez a year earlier. His knockout power is impressive with a 77.78 KO rate, making him one of the most dangerous fighters in the division. However, controversy surrounds him now, as he tested positive for banned substances after his last fight. This could lead to a suspension or even overturning one of his victories. Jaime Munguía hasn't publicly shared his personal feelings about losing to Bruno Suarez in their first match, but the defeat was a major upset in his career, especially in his hometown. In their first fight, Suarez knocked Munguía out in the 6th round, shocking the boxing world. Munguía later won the rematch by unanimous decision. Jaime Munguía, full name Jaime Aaron Munguía Escobedo, was born on October 6, 1996 in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He grew up in a boxing family, with his father, Jaime Munguía Sr., being a former heavyweight boxer known as El Rambo. His early exposure to the sport shaped his passion for boxing, and he turned professional at just 16 years old in 2013. Munguía quickly rose through the ranks, winning the WBO junior middleweight title in 2018, which he successfully defended multiple times before moving up to middleweight and super middleweight divisions. His aggressive fighting style and knockout power have made him a fan favorite, but he recently faced controversy over testing positive. Outside the ring, Munguía is known to keep his personal life private. He is reportedly married to Maria Alexandra Rosa Duque, a corporate strategist from Spain, and they live with a 5-month-old son. Munguía first gained attention when he won the WBO junior middleweight title in 2018 at only 21 years old. He successfully defended that title several times before moving up to middleweight and super middleweight divisions, where he has faced top fighters like Saul Canelo Álvarez and John Ryder. However, Munguía, with his controversy, could face possible suspensions and further damage. Performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, are substances used by athletes to increase strength, stamina, recovery, and speed beyond natural limits. In boxing, PEDs can provide an unfair advantage by boosting endurance, muscle mass, and reaction time. Common types of PEDs in boxing are anabolic steroids, which increase muscle growth and strength, human growth hormone, HGH, it helps with recovery and muscle development, erythropoietin, EPO, boosts red blood cells production for endurance, diuretics, used to cut weight quickly by flushing out fluids, and stimulants, which enhance focus, aggression, and reaction speed. PED use has been a major issue in boxing, with numerous fighters failing drug tests over the years. Some notable cases include Franz Botha, who tested positive for steroids in 1995, and Dylan White, who failed multiple tests throughout his career. Several boxers have been caught using performance-enhancing drugs or PEDs recently. Ryan Garcia tested positive for Ostarine before his fight April 20th, 2024 against Devin Haney. He faced a potential suspension and the possibility of his victory being overturned, which it was. Cynthia Ongonsalamore, a 2022 Commonwealth Games bronze medalist, tested positive for uracilsomide, a banned diuretic, ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympics. Dulapo Omale, another Nigerian boxer, was also caught doping at the 22 National Sports Festival in Akabuto, Nigeria. The use of performance-enhancing drugs in boxing can have devastating effects on both fighters and who use them and their opponents. Health risks. PEDs can cause liver disease, kidney failure, heart problems, and even death. Some fighters experience paranoia and depression as a result of psychological damage and aggression, or roid rage. A failed drug test can lead to suspensions, fines, and damaged reputations. And PEDs can make fighters stronger and faster, but they also weaken tendons and ligaments, leading to higher chances of injury. The effects on opponents can be just as bad. PEDs allow an unfair advantage. They allow fighters to recover faster, hit harder, and endure more punishment, making fights dangerous and unbalanced. Higher risk of brain damage. Enhanced strength from PEDs can lead to more long-term powerful punches, increasing the risk of concussions, brain trauma, and long-term neurological damage. Fatal consequences. There have been cases where fighters suffered life-threatening injuries or even died to opponents using PEDs. The boxing world continues to struggle with PED enforcement, and some fighters cycle drugs to avoid detection. Stricter random drug testing and harsher penalties are needed to protect fighters and maintain the integrity of the sport. When Ryan Garcia faced Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia tested positive, a potential suspension wasn't enough, but there have been other fighters. Canelo Álvarez versus Gennady Golovkin in 2018. Alvarez tested positive for clenbuterol, leading to a 6-month suspension. He blamed contaminated meat from Mexico. Jarrell Miller versus Anthony Joshua was canceled in 2019. Miller failed multiple drug tests for GW501, 516 EPO, and HGH, forcing him out of his scheduled fight with Joshua. In 2017, Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder, Ortiz tested positive for chlorzorazide or hydrochloride, substances used to mask PEDs. He also was allowed to fight after proving they were for high blood pressure, which he lost. In Shane Mosley versus Oscar De La Hoya II in 2003, Mosley admitting to using EPO and steroids supplied by Balco, though he claimed he was unaware they were banned substances. Boxing has always had a shadowy side, where strength, skill, and sheer willpower collide with controversy. Over the years, some of the sport's greatest warriors have been caught using performance-enhancing drugs, shaking up legacies and rewriting history. Roy Jones Jr., the legendary fighter, failed a test for androstenedione in 2000, but somehow avoided suspension. His talent remained undeniable, but questions linger. James Toney, he became a heavyweight champion after defeating John Ruiz in 2005, only for a steroid test to flip the script, stripping him of the title. Shane Mosley, one of the most electrifying fighters, was leaked to Balco steroid scandal before his rematch with Oscar De La Hoya in 2003. Evander Holyfield, the real deal, found himself entangled in the 2007 signature pharmacy scandal, suspected of using human growth hormone. And Pernell Whitaker, known for his defensive genius, Whitaker's struggles with cocaine abuse affected his career, leading to failed drug tests and forced retirements. Boxing has always been a battlefield, not just in the ring, but behind the scenes, where champions rise and reputations crumble. PED scandals have shaped careers, sparked debates, and forced fans to question what's truly fair in a sport where survival is everything. Boxing's a battle against performance-enhancing drugs, and it's far from over. But there are ways to fight back and restore integrity. And here's how. Stronger enforcement testing. Randomized Olympic-style drug testing. Fighters should be tested year-round, not just before fights. Harsher penalties, longer suspensions, lifetime bans for repeat offenders, and strict titles for those caught doping. Independent testing agencies, organizations like VEDA, Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, should oversee testing instead of relying on promoters or commissions. Better education and awareness. Inform fighters about PED dangers. Many boxers don't fully understand the long-term health risks of steroids, HGH, and EPO. Encourage clean training methods. Promote natural recovery techniques, proper nutrition, and legal supplements. Public accountability. Fans, media, and governing bodies must call out doping violations and demand transparency. Stricter regulations and oversight. Boxing lacks a single governing body to enforce PED rules all across promotions. Mandatory drug testing for all title fights. Every champion should be required of pre-fight and post-fight testing, and financial consequences found. Fighters caught doping should forfeit their purses and face legal consequences. The fight against PEDs isn't just about fairness, it's about protecting fighters from serious health risks and ensuring boxing remains a sport built on skill, discipline, and heart. But that's a wrap, fight family. Jaime Munguia's journey is far from over, and the boxing world is watching closely. What do you think? Can Munguía bounce back and silence the doubters, or is his legacy in jeopardy? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate is just getting started. And if you love this breakdown, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe. For more boxing updates, turn on those notifications so you never miss a fight. Stay tuned, stay hyped, and we'll catch you on the next one. Fight night isn't over, it's just begun.